power lines. We've got what appears to be roofs in the middle of the street. This area is dark and has been dark for a while. Just trying to get down here was a task in itself, because there is no lights out on the streets. All the traffic lights are out, and of course there's residents out here surveying the damage. This is looking down to Newcastle, and there appears to be a lot of damage in this street also.
Again, he's at Walnut Hill and Harry Hines. As he mentioned, a large number of multifamily dwellings. That means thousands of people who live in apartment complexes in that area. That's just north, for example, the Webb Chapel extension north of Love Field, where we have thousands of folks who live in apartment units throughout that sector. So where Lorenzo Garcia, our photojournalist, is showing you those images right now, obviously we've got some concern about the number of people who may be impacted, not only by the fact that there's no power there, but any kind of real damage to their homes. Lorenzo, we will check back with you in just a second. I understand we're going to go back to Northeast Dallas on the tip of the Lake Highlands area along Greenville and 75. Photojournalist Tim Andrews in that area now. Tim, can you hear me? Talk to me.
I can hear you, Steve. Let me just explain to you what I've seen so far. I started from our Dallas office, came east on Forest, up past TI, where Dallas Fire Rescue was clearing out the road. They had just cleared that out. I talked to a security guy at Texas Instruments, and he said a quarter of one of their buildings was destroyed. I couldn't get on the property at the time, but he said, yeah, it was extensive damage at TI. I made myself my way to Greenville, where I headed north on Greenville, and basically starting at 635, heading north on Greenville. There's damage at buildings, offices, and of course what you're seeing now is me stopping at Greenville and Amberton, where there is extensive damage to this apartment complex. There was a few guys here that walked up to the apartments at the top where the roof is gone. You may not be able to see it in my shot, but the roof is gone, and they went to check to see if the people are okay. I do believe that the people are in one of these vehicles waiting for help, but they don't believe anybody is in here. As you can see, that is, if you can see my camera, that is part of the roof right there on top of that car. So there is extensive damage. And this is one of the guys that decided, he lives on the other side, there was no damage to his, so he decided to walk around the complex to see if anyone needed help.
Tim, I can tell you, I know exactly where you are. That, as you mentioned, right along Amberton Parkway. That is just along Greenville Avenue before you get to Walnut, before you get to Spring Valley. In that area, that apartment complex, I've seen it well as it sits, if you will, just a stone's throw from what you just mentioned, which is, of course, Texas Instruments. And if there is confirmed damage there, as you just said, you talked to individuals there, so at least some partial damage at TI's location, at that specific location as well. And that is what is called the 75-635 corridor, where we've seen damage all night long. And Tim is showing you right now, folks, right along the Greenville Avenue area, Amberton Parkway, as you headed north, as along Greenville. Your next is you head into Richardson, and you start to see if there's any indication of damage in the Richardson area. Let's go back to our weather guys, get some updates here on what we're seeing and what we've seen throughout Dallas County and beyond for the last almost 2 hours now. Scott?
And